The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Real Doctor Who fans with real Doctor Who opinions.
Hello and welcome to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast, episode 354 of the podcast. I am Brett, and this is a podcast to be celebrated. Yes, we are going to be talking about the Big Finish app yet again, but hey, we are through the looking glass, people, on this one. All right. Also, we're going to be talking about some of the Big Finish new releases that are coming out with some thoughts on my end, some new Who stuff, as well as, shall we say, a bit of controversy on the side. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. And as I record this on the 18th of October, I sadly don't have any new emails or Twitter DMs to discuss. So, please send them our way. I'd love to have you participate, give you and share your thoughts, good or bad. And that being said, we're going to transition to the first bit of news, which is the Big Finish app. Now, a couple of days ago, and probably by a couple of days ago, I mean, probably a little bit over a week of time of recording, I got a message from Liam saying to look into doing a beta testing for the Big Finish app. And I went to go do it, and I wasn't sure I was able to get in. And then, lo and behold, I get accepted to the beta testing, and oh my word, can I tell you, the original Big Finish app, there's two of them. One of them is done by Big Finish Productions, which is the second one that was done. And then they had this one that was done by, what was it? What was the company? Let me just quickly Google this. Big Finish audio player. Let's see. So we have one from the Big Finish audiobook player from Hughes Media. That one is by far the superior app. I absolutely love it. I feel as though they've only improved it. And then, of course, Big Finish Productions created their own app associated with their new website that maybe one day or so the new website might return. Yes, it might be back one of these days. But until then, there'll be no glitches, no downfalls, no whatever. So not to go down that road right there, I got into the beta testing of the new Big Finish app, and I will tell you, the instant I became part of the beta test, I immediately had all access to all releases. I was able to, after probably about 45-ish seconds or whatever of updating, probably even longer than that, of updating what I had currently purchased. These are the free trial ones that I'd done because I had decided to kind of not buy anything until Big Finish got their ducks in a row. I was able to get all of those free part ones, those the Big Finish podcasts that I downloaded onto my app or account, and I had access to those too. All of the things that, the Death World, which was released after July 31st, never showed up. The only way I was able to get it is before the second app went down, the one done by Big Finish. I was able to have downloaded it onto that before that app became unresponsive. And I was resigned to just basically download everything, listen to it on iTunes, which is good, but also at the same time, I don't know what everybody else's struggle is regarding listening to iTunes, but it used to be you just download it, it'd be right there, they'd be tracks 1 through whatever, and now it's a struggle to get them to be in the order in which they should be. And I don't know if that's a me problem. I don't know if it's my cell phone problem or my iPhone problem, but it used to be, I would have to finagle a couple of things, especially when I added the extended extras to everything, I would, have to change this and change that. And of course, I needed to have the good cover art on all of them because sometimes we had, the standby cover art, which was standby. But anyway, finally, I have access to everything. And then I decided to try and pick up a couple things just to see if everything was synced up. And so Big Finish had a early Doctors box or early Doctors releases. There were 3 early Doctor releases that I never picked up. And so for about $8 or something like that, I picked them all up, updated my app, and everything is coming up roses, not coming up in Millhouse. That would be weird. But I'm so grateful that everything regarding the Big Finish app is working. I do like their current website. I do see the benefits of the new website that, took some time to, sync up and whatnot. There is some clunkiness with having gone back to their previous version of their website because whenever I put in my username and password, even though I click, please remember this, it doesn't. And then it takes forever for it to kind of sync up with the servers on Big Finish's end. But you know what? I do appreciate the hard work that Big Finish has done. Thank you for all the IT people. Thank you for your hard work, dedication, at doing your job essentially. But I do appreciate Jason A. Guillory, Nick Briggs, who basically heard there was a problem. They could have just been like, you know what, deal with it. We're going to continue to go through this. It's, it's learning pains. It's new transition to site pains or stuff like that. But at the end of it, it will be worth it. And I appreciate that it was not discounted at all by the big wigs up above because they could have. But unlike, what the BBC can do when people don't like the product that they're doing, Nick, Big Finish is basically kind of, we need as many people to support us as possible because it's, we only exist because of listeners like you, as the PBS telethon would remind us once or twice a year. And so it's grateful to, have this done by fans of Doctor Who to begin with and telling great stories, which again, I don't think New Who on TV is doing that or has done that in quite some time. But again, don't mean to get onto some controversy stuff, but again, love that the Big Finish app is now up and running. I will tell you, I do have one annoyance, but also I'm grateful at the same time. So yesterday, a day of recording, so the 17th of October, 2024, it says Big Finish app returns with free story. Oh boy, I was so excited when I saw that, teased free story. Oh, the only thing I could think of is I hope I don't already own it. So it says the Big Finish audiobook player has been updated to celebrate a fabulous Doctor Who audio drama is now available completely for free. So it says Big Finish is celebrating their 25 years of Doctor Who audio dramas by releasing multi-Doctor adventures, the Doctor Who, the 4 Doctors, completely free to all registered customers from today. This story can now be downloaded here and enjoyed on a compatible device via the Big Finish audio player. Regular Big Finish listeners will know that Big Finish audio player recently experienced some technical issues requiring a temporary workaround. However, the good news is that a fix has been developed, tested, and now live. To update your Big Finish audio player, please follow the following steps. Install the update app. Okay. So install that, rebuild your library. So this is for people who basically went around and did the workaround by hiding as many up to, only having 200 to 300 titles in their library. hiding the rest of them so that they can use the app, which I was refusing to do. You have 900 and something plus uh, things in your library. Again, Minuet in Hell does not need to be downloaded again. The only one I wanted to listen to were the most recent ones, but I knew eventually if you do something, you're going to have to undo something. So now it's almost like you might need to unhide, but it says please click the unhide all button. So that's a lot better than just clicking hide to each and individual one. Then it says refresh your library app. It says pull down on the refresh string. It says please wait, this may take a while. Yes, it does. It does take a while, but you know what? Having the app working is so worth it. I do love, and I have loved listening to Big Finish on my what is it? My iPod. I still have my iPod, have not reconnected to it since, because everything is where it was, I think 2000 as of 2017 or something like that. And I can't reinstall it because my hard drive is dead and I don't want to do that. And so the Big Finish app has been a great joy to be able to listen to all the stuff that I put on my iPod, but also gives me the, momentary release downloadability that an app would give you. And then it says get your free download this. Now, here is where I struggle with this being the free download, because I was on the Big Finish audio group a little while ago, and somebody during one of Big Finish's sales said that they had gotten their 12-month subscription or something like that back, and use their 12-month subscription to get the 4 doctors, which up until today, the only way that you could get that would be for you selecting one of the a choice for your free download or audiobook or something like that. And it was always going to be like that way. You could never buy the 4 doctors at all, period. And also the 5 companions. Now, I love the 4 doctors. I want more people to listen to the 4 doctors. But at the other side of the, the boat, the belt, whatever, you have, well, this is a thank you. Could you have given us a thank you for 1 free credit so that, I could pick up one of the audios that I never picked up, which was one of the Key to Time things, or, one of the Companion Chronicles, mainly the Louise Jameson 4th Doctor stories. Like, one of these days I will get around to it. If you do a sale for $199, I will pick those up. Anyway, I love the 4 doctors. I do think it should be loved more than it actually is. I know a lot of people were irked that it wasn't a multi-doctor story, but it was a, traveling through the Doctor's timeline story. And I feel as though if you go in believing it's going to be a, full cast audio or 4 doctors, and I will tell you, I listened to this before I really knew who the 8th Doctor Paul McGann was. I was very confused, but I still enjoyed the story nonetheless. So I'm grateful that this is free. I can also say I'm irked that this is free at the same time. But again, according to something that, Nick Briggs and some of the other people is, you'll never appease everybody all the time. And I just am grateful to have a app that actually is in working condition. So, with that being said, I want to go from that to the news. And can I tell you, I am so excited for what we have in store coming for Big Finish in 2025 and beyond. And here is what I mean by that. Well, let me just see. That's my year in review. Anyway, I probably can't find it. So I'll just go off of memory. I had a nice old thing full of notes. So a little while ago, I think, as of the news page, the 30th of September, 2024, it was revealed that planet Crinoid, I probably mispronounced it, but you know what? Crinoid. Anyway, Crinoid. There, I think I got all of the possibility ones that it could be. The planet Crinoid was announced, which is a story that comes from the Seeds of Doom, where, the Doctor and Sarah Jane have this crinoid egg that starts, trying to take over this carnivorous planet. Okay, according to this, it says, on planets where crinoid seeds land, all animal life is doomed. The carnivorous plant first appeared in 1976 on the Seeds of Doom, in which the Doctor saves the Earth from a crinoid infestation, but not all worlds are so lucky. So it says Planet Crinoid Nightfall is the first box set in a new audio drama series, is a 3-hour disaster adventure which begins with a seed pot infecting the seemingly utopian planet Sunlight. Before long, life on Sunlight has become a nightmare. So I like this. I feel as though we are basically through the worlds of Big Finish, and that's where I'm really excited to see what Big Finish is going to be doing. Or is it Worlds of Doctor Who? Sorry, Worlds of Doctor Who. I think there's so many things that are going to be so interesting, because according to this is just part one. Even though I don't believe on the website it is noted as part one, but according to this news article, it is. So I really like seeing that we're doing this. We're going into the worlds of Doctor Who. It's almost like, Cybermen or Dalek Empire, where you're seeing the villains, you're seeing the baddies doing certain things, but the Doctor is not involved, and it basically takes human ingenuity in order to get through the entirety of this disaster. According to this, though, the second episode of the box set will have a guest appearance of the Eighth Doctor, played by Paul McGann, but with the crinoid's tendrils extending across the planet, no one is safe, not even the Doctor. Well, timeless child, so he'll be fine. So I think it's going to be great, and I'm very excited for what happens out of this as well, too. We got 3 stories: Sunlight by Jonathan Morris, one of my favorite writers; Sunset by Jonathan S. Powell, who is new to me. I need to see who this guy is, as well as Darkness by Chris Chapman. I'm going to go to, who's Jonathan S. Powell? Let's see. So he currently one of his stories, the first story that he had was in Trials of a Time Lord. No. Where was he? Because it links me to that. Let's see. Director Jonathan S. Powell. Okay, so he directed the Trials of a Time Lord box set with the Sixth Doctor. He has a story featured. Nope. He does not have a story featured in Zygon Century. Again, he is a director on Zygon Century. And then we have the planet Crinoid, and he does have one of the stories. So this is his first writing direction. He's also the director, according to this. So that'll be quite interesting. And again, just to where my excitement for this is we have Zygon Century that's going to be coming out in early, I think January 2025. And there's 3 stories with that too. Again, I'm very excited that we have the worlds of Doctor Who extending to the monsters and what they can and will be doing in the worlds of Doctor Who. I feel as though this is what we need to do to extend Doctor Who without having constantly Doctor Who's, characters, but we can have the villains and the fallout from there. Because again, I feel as though the especially the first two series of Dalek Empire, especially Cyberman 2. Cyberman 2 is fantastic. Absolutely love Cyberman 2. And this is what we need. This is what was it? I think in one of the articles it was described that Planet Crinoid is comparative to the what is it? The Last of Us type of a series, which I mean, again, I think I like taking Doctor Who and then kind of doing some similar things, not like exactly spot for spot thing, or the new series where they basically do steal a Bridgerton episode, steal a Black Mirror episode, just do Doctor Who on TV. You can have fun, but again, I think that's where worlds of Doctor Who is gonna be different because you don't have the Doctor there. You can do The Last of Us in a not Doctor Who episode because in doing The Last of Us in the Doctor Who episode, you'd end up with so many stories that are almost, you know, Caves of Xandrazani where everybody dies. Yeah, I think it would be hard for Doctor Who fans to constantly be given stories that, are similarly done as, end of world post-apocalyptic deaths landscapes or whatnot. I like that Paul McGann is going to make a appearance. I actually would appreciate. I would rather it not. I would rather Paul McGann just kind of, you know, be in Doctor Who, maybe make an appearance in Torchwood, but that's just my opinion on the matter. So there's that. Interesting thing that popped up that I noticed. So before I did uh this podcast, I just went to go see what's going on with Doctor Who news. Have not picked up the app that Liam has been telling me to get because it is fantastic. Not that I don't want a fantastic app. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. And well, I do struggle with, time, my time, not space, just time. Anyway, that being said, I think it's currently speaking volumes that DoctorWhoNews.net basically only really has um, noti- the notoriety of people's in Doctor Who's deaths, as well as the breakdown of Doctor Who magazines for quite some time. I think with this new series, there is lots of, it's very polarizing. And I think it's been very polarizing since the Chibnall Jodie Whittaker era. And again, we've made mention of this numerous times. I'm re-listening to so many of the classic Doctor Who Alhambra podcast episodes because I'm getting ready to do a massive best of, since this is like the 10-year anniversary of the podcast. Now, I will tell you, I think I'm gonna make this huge. Not that many people might listen to it, but I'm just gonna make it huge because I found myself re-listening to stuff from, 9, 8 years ago, and I just got captivated. The microphones suck. And also my audio editing kind of does suck at times too. But besides that, I really have enjoyed listening to some of these things, even though it is almost, uh, I mean, it's not evergreen material, but it's almost kind of like a time, what, not time machine, a time capsule of what was going on in certain points in time. And I do appreciate that about older comic book podcasts I listen to and whatnot, is it being type of a kind of a time capsule. And one of the things that I do appreciate about us compared to some of the YouTubers that I watch is when we're wrong, we will admit that we're wrong in eventual lead up to a podcast. However, YouTube is, the outrage of the day, or I mean, what was it? The toxic positivity. When I heard that was a thing, I'm like, yes, that is a thing and that is a problem. Toxic positivity. Look it up. It's a thing. I didn't make it up. It's an article talking about I think it kind of focused on Star Wars, but I think that is a huge problem within fandom, toxic positivity. Anyway, that being said, I the interesting thing about the new series currently right now is the lack of news that is occurring, but also because of the lack of news, the more, questions everybody has about everything. Is Disney happy with the having Doctor Who? Will Disney pick up or be participating in the third series of Doctor Who, which is going to be quite interesting because they kind of had a renumbering situation going on, doing volume 3 or, series 1 as RTD part 2 noted. You have a almost departure of the David Tennant 10th/14th Doctor go off and live to death, kind of like Captain America did at the end of Endgame. But at the same time, he didn't do anything to help with the whole final climax of everything. So maybe he's already dead. Who knows? Maybe these, bi-regenerations have a time limit, a shelf limit. And he only had like 3 days to enjoy Donna and her family, and then he just dead. Who's to say? Except for RTD and my headcanon, which says that that's what's happening because I think that's stupid. But you have people just grasping at straws for any bit of news that is coming out. And so the question about season 3 happening or ever happening, there was a Radio Times article. I want to say it came out around June. And RTD was talking about how even though season 3 has not been actually confirmed, he was writing scripts. He had a breakdown for them because he just believed that it was an inevitability. However, up to about a month ago, Radio Times completely scrubbed that link and article from existence. The only people that have any notion that article exists are Doctor Who podcasters and anybody who took a screenshot of that, or podcasters and also YouTubers and anybody that took a screenshot of it because it no longer exists. And then you have, Ncuti Gatwa on the Graham Norton show, and you have the whole changing of what he actually said revolving around season 3. Season 2's done shooting. We're going to do this, then the Christmas episode we'll do. And then, of course, we'll be, doing season 3. And the BBC on the Graham Norton show cut that out. Now, you can say, and it has been said, that is common practices for the BBC to clip certain things out because of reasons or something like that. But you'd think if you'd want that to be a thing, something positive to look forward to, something to be excited to, look forward to. And for that to be completely scrubbed out of the Graham Norton show said by Ncuti Gatwa, you have to wonder. Now, lots of people are jumping on the bandwagon saying that this is just proof that the BBC is not going to be pursuing a third season, or at least Disney will have no input whatsoever, and you're going to have to get Chinese investors here. You're going to have to get go back to Sony or something like that, maybe HBO Max, get them back. And then that's going to be a whole huge thing because, again, Disney will have, who knows how long they'll have access to the specials and season 1, season 2 of the new series of Doctor Who Volume 3. But now things are getting quite jumbly. Not chumbly, but jumbly. Anyway, I find this interesting. I do want to have like a more longer look at this and breakdown, but you know what? For right now, I'm just going to park that questions situation off to the side for right now. We got so many things to look forward to as Doctor Who fans. We do have a great Worlds of Big Finish that are coming up. We also have the Cybermen Genesis Lost Stories. I am loving that the Lost Stories are coming back. This is so fantastic. Whenever Big Finish closes something, it always rears its head. I desperately want the monthly adventures to come back yet again. I think it would be great. I think it would be something that people would just take it up the main range release 300. No, yeah, I mean 25 more. That'd give you content for about 2 years. Maybe end at 301 because you used to do 13 monthly adventures per year with a subscriber special that did not incorporate anything to it. But again, I love the subscriber special. Four Doctors was my favorite. Second favorite was the 5 Companions. That's what they should have given away. They should have given away the 5 Companions. Anyway, that being said, thanks again for downloading and listening. I do appreciate it. Please email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. And until next time, I will see you in time. You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.